Alright, y'all. I am having a hard time getting started today. Because I'm like, that was such a roller coaster this morning, waking up to that shit and then being like, and going in a default mode where I blame myself no matter what it is. No matter what the numbers say. The numbers don't lie, bitches. Okay? I didn't fuck up. They fucked me over. Like, I'm so used to just blaming myself for everything. Like goddamn. But it turns out I didn't fuck up. I didn't miscalculate. They just decided to be like, oh yeah, let's just tack on some extra fees and shit and just be like, and then blame you for it, even though it's not your fault. Like really? No. No. Just no. It's not how this works. You don't get to fuck up and then blame me for it. No. And I'm not gonna let you fuck up and then blame me for it. Like, no. Just no. So I'm self-care does not have to be linear. I'm going to do this shit first. I need to clean my kitchen first. I can't live like this. I can't. This ain't it. Okay? This ain't it. I don't like it. Let me put this shit back in here. It goes right there. This goes right here. That goes in there. That goes back in there. That goes back in there. That goes back in there. Like goddamn. That goes back in there. All that shit goes back in there. Boom. These need washed. Okay. Just, what? Oh, yeah. I said, what? In the butt. Oh. Oh my God. Okay. No, I'm done. No, I'm not doing that shit no more. I am getting coffee. I'm gonna take my meds wherever the fuck I put them bitches. I don't know. I don't know where I put them, but like, just, where did I put them? Where are they? Okay, let's set this down. Okay, let's see. There they are. Okay. Awesome sauce. We're good to go. Where the fucking... Oh, God. No. Okay. Just need to come down from, like, whatever the fuck that shit was. Have some coffee, take my meds, have a mochi, and then we're gonna get down to business on this goddamn kitchen because that shit is driving me insane. It's just... But apparently I'm a little too frantic right now. Just a little too worked up. I'm just a little shaky. Just, like, goddamn. Like, I'm trying not to berate myself for blaming myself this morning because, like, that's just a never-ending loop of bullshit right there. Like, no. Just not. No. Not doing it. Just not doing it. Like, fuck no. Not going down that rabbit hole again. Cause like, no, just, cause that's the bullshit that I've dealt with my entire fucking life. I'm not putting myself through that shit anymore. It is not my fucking fault. I couldn't have planned for them to fucking charge me an extra like $30-some or whatever it was, or an extra 20. Because it turned out to be like an extra 40. And I'm like, okay. Okay, I got this. Okay. But then they tacked on another 27. And I'm like, you guys are getting fucking ridiculous with this shit. Like, what the fuck is y'all doing? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, Like, I couldn't have calculated for them to be shady. You know what I mean? Like, how is that my fault? Like, how is that my fault? Make it make sense. Because get this. This is how fucked my mind has been my whole life. I would blame myself for literally everything because everyone else did. I was like, well, and that one counselor, who shouldn't be a counselor to anybody, in middle school, that was all like, well, you know, people just don't do bad things to people for no reason. People don't just talk about people for no reason. So, everybody running around telling Virgin Lindsay, saying that Virgin Lindsay was actually a prostitute. It's my fault. And she was like, yeah, well, you gotta think about how what reason did you give them to say that? Really? And then in recent years, I've learned that, oh no, this is just everything. This is just shit that black women have to face all the fucking time. Like, across the board. My story is not unique. Like, black women can't do shit right by anybody else. Like, we are at the bottom of the fucking pile of bullshit that gets shat on. That society shits on. We just are. And to have another black woman, not just my mother in this case, but that counselor was a black woman. Is she gonna say that shit to me? Really, bitch? I hope you're dead right now, because I swear to God, the karma that you ain't ready for the karma you gonna get from perpetuating harmful systems, harmful stereotypes. Like, you're not ready for that karma, bitch. You ain't ready for that shit. In contrast, at that same school, in that same grade, had this English teacher. She was a black woman. She was much older than the black counselor, bitch. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get emotional. I'm already emotional, but like, this is another like sappy emotion. Like, I was her favorite student, and mainly because I came to her and I asked her, I said, are there any books we could read where, you know, black people don't have just, I didn't know the term white savior, but I said, where the black people aren't suffering and poor and they could just be regular fucking people without some white person coming to save them? Like, are there books that exist like that? Because I'd really like to read something like that. And she didn't have the time in between classes to like sit me down and explain all this shit to me. I just remember her expression, that warm yet sorrowful smile. She loved my writing, she got pissed at me because I was failing her class. She said, there's no fucking reason you should be failing my class. Look what you wrote. Look what you wrote. Look what you did. I'm putting this on my fridge. There ain't no reason why you should be failing my class. And she was right. She was right. She just didn't know what was happening in my life at the time, you know? But she was still right. Like, the only thing I liked about school was the learning. But everything else about school was keeping me from that. In contrast to what that counselor said to me. Because I was crying one day because I had to walk to school. I walked through the mud. And these motherfucking students, they were like, "Oh, she got dog doodle on her shoe." I said, "It's mud, bitch. What? And when I was crying about that and I was talking to that teacher about that, her name was Miss Elizabeth. She said, "Girl, what you worried about them for?" It's like, "Because they keep lying about me." She said, I was like, "It wasn't dog poo." She's like, "Even if it was, they had to look all the way up under your shoe to find something wrong about you. They was looking for it. If they have to look for it, then you're fine. That's a them problem." She played the recording of Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech in her class. I had never heard it a day before in my life before that. And I cried the entire time. I cried. If I had a mother like her, I wouldn't have had to fight through and overcome and unlearn internalized racism and misogyny and misogynoir. I wouldn't have had the life that I did. Penguin had those kind of parents. Be proud of who you are. Fuck Whitey. She had that kind of upbringing, which I'm so happy for her to have that. She's like, "Yeah, I'm black and I'm proud." Say it loud. "I'm black and I'm proud." I'm just like, wow, just I'm realizing that there were tiny little moments like the one I just told you about that happened in my formative years that kept something in me alive, just alive enough. Haha, Amazon got their money. Bitches, I'm gonna get my Berkeley gifts, damn it. Yeah, I don't celebrate, Luxembourg doesn't celebrate Xmas. Luxembourg celebrates Berkeley, a 3-day solstice celebration. Gifts are not encouraged, but they're not discouraged either. They just, if you do, you do. It's just a time to show appreciation and gratitude for one another and eat a lot of food. I am so proud of myself right now for looking at reality for what it is instead of just blaming myself for everything that ever goes wrong ever. Here's an extreme example I think I mentioned in another video from like months and months ago. Don't even try to find it. I don't know when I said it. But this is how extreme my self-blame was. A former friend of mine, Adrian, had dropped, we were in the elevator together, and she dropped her iPhone right in between, down the elevator shaft, and I blamed myself. Nobody could get through to me how it wasn't my fault and it was just a freak accident. Like, I couldn't understand how it wasn't my fault. I was like, yeah, but you've been in the elevator plenty of other times and it didn't happen. But then I was there and it happened. And she's like, yeah, but you've also been in the elevator with me tons of other times and it didn't happen then. So how is that suddenly your fault? I was like, it just is. I distracted you. She's like, the fuck? Now, she was a bad person in a bunch of other ways. Like, she was racist, but she didn't realize how she was racist. She was super racist. Super whitey. Super white. Super white. Like, all the bad things about, like, nice racists, that was her. But in this one incident, like, she's like, no, it's not your fault. I don't know how else to explain this to you, but it's really not. Like, nobody could get that through to my skull. Like, that's how bad I was blamed for shit growing up. Like, it was just crazy. But there were a few moments, just a few small moments that just kept the center of who I am, the core of my soul, alive. Because if that had died, there's no way I would have gone on this healing journey. There's no fucking way. And I'm 100% sure that everyone has some of those tiny little moments that get lost in the shitstorm, the maelstrom of trauma, that don't even come back to the surface until they start the healing process, which really pisses me off. Like, why couldn't it arise sooner? Why couldn't I have held on to those at the time? Like, really? Well, the scales, man. The scales. Let's go all Libra on this bitch, you know? Just, that's why. That's why. And it's just a natural trait of the human mind to focus on the majority, the bigger, what weighs more, you know? So of course those little tiny moments weren't enough to tip the scales in the other way. I'm doing this wrong. They're on this side. The little tiny moments, they weren't enough to tip the scales the other way, okay? But they were enough in the grand scheme of things to keep your soul alive. I want to be one of those moments, one of those tiny little things, one of those little inklings, you know, be like, hey, that crazy motherfucker's doing it. I can too, and I'm not nearly as fucked up as they are, or I'm just as fucked up as they are, or I'm more fucked up than they are, but they're doing it. Maybe I could and do it better than them. Hey, you could do it better than me. I love you guys. I'll see you later.